There is something else you should consider when using a smartphone in a family setting. I talk very often about how the fact of choosing to use a smartphone or not choosing to use a smartphone has a dimension everybody is not thinking at first sight about. Which is how your children are seeing it and which example are you showing to your children. But let's assume you don't believe me and you think that it's not important. The example is not something that your children will be overly attached to, and basically you think, Jerzy is not right. There is something else you should consider when using a smartphone in a family setting. And it's how will you manage those smartphones when your children will start using them actually. Let's imagine 2 parents and 2 children, 4 people, 2 with smartphones and 2 that will start one day using smartphones because of convenience, because of communication. Somebody will have to configure those smartphones and somebody will have to manage them, and obviously it will be the parents. I have just configured this phone for my wife because she needs GPS navigation, and will be looking into also whether we'll support Discord or not. And so today I have configured the AGM M7 for my wife because of 2 applications actually. One is navigation, and I have chosen Waze because Google Maps pushes too much information to Google and didn't want to work without the Play services. And the second app is we have switched to Discord, and all the research that I had to make in order to find an APK of those apps that will work right straight out of the SD card on this phone without fiddling with the system, without installing additional services, without being actually a software engineer for my wife. It took me 2 hours for a dumb phone, you know. And now let's imagine your kids want to use an iPhone and you have 2 additional devices to manage. And so you have to configure how those devices will be backupped, which apps they can use, which they cannot use. You will have to have a relationship between the child's device and the parent's device. You will become basically an IT manager for your family. And I think setting up a new smartphone for your kid, it's 5 or 6 hours of work, both on the kid's device and the parent's device. And now let's imagine that you want to make some kind of content moderation on those devices. It will be still additional work. 6 hours plus the content moderation, because, you know, there's apps for that, of course, but I don't know if you want to trust an app, because sometimes someone will judge that a YouTube video will be very well suited for a 7-year-old, and you will be of a different opinion. And so I simply think that for parents with children, it's not worth the time investment, because if you want to have the possibility to call your kid, just give him or her a dumb phone and you will be able to do that. As far as GPS tracking, you can buy something that is called Winect, which works very well and it has 10 days of battery life. instead of one day in a normal smartphone. So I think you should consider that when thinking about a smartphone for your kids and for your family in general.